Video on post-fight reaction to Tyson Fury stopping Tom Schwarz in round 2. What did I think about this fight? Very good performance from Fury. Very good. I thought the weight would be a problem, but he looked great. I think he got touched once or hit once properly, and that spurred him on to go a bit more harder on Schwarz. I thought it would be a mismatch, but I thought. I knew Schwarz had the quit in him. I didn't know if he was going to be able to. He looked quite confident. He looked quite good coming into the ring on the ring walk, but Fury just had that ease of confidence and just looked, from the first attempt bell, he looked smooth, he looked composed, and he looked much better than how he played against Fury from Wilder. Okay, he had a much more worse opponent, but just the jab was smooth and stinging. The jab was consistent. I was talking to someone while I was watching. I said to myself, is Fury right-handed or left-handed? Because when he went southpaw, the left hand was strong. When he went down the pipe, it was strong. It hurt. It hurt Schwarz. The right hook to the body shots pushed it back. Schwarz tried to open up and got clipped with straight left, and that really buzzed him through. He gained confidence, and the power seemed there. He wasn't. I was talking about Ben Davis as a trainer and him trying to mix in this style of Fury, being a defensive genius, but also putting his shots and really turning in his shots and pushing power as well, could make him the ultimate beast. I was so impressed that he managed to, the way he got Schwarz out. I predicted a 10th round stoppage. I had a feeling the ref would stop it, too much punishment, but there's levels. I've learned a few things from this fight. This Tyson Fury is much, much better than we thought in terms of, we knew Tom Schwarz was bad, but, looking at the Pianetta, the Cephalus Fury, we thought, he hasn't got it. This is the closest Fury I've seen to the one against Klitschko. Because for me, I even felt the movement here was at times better. The structure of his punches coming together, the neatness, it looked better. The weight I think is really good, and yeah, he performed well. Got the stoppage, but busted up his nose, went for it. He had that killer instinct. We've seen Fury lack that killer instinct in some fights. In the second Derek Chisora fight, he just bored his way and tapped Chisora in the face. He didn't really go for it because he didn't want to hurt Chisora that much. He could have stopped Chisora, but he was, a bit relentless. But in this fight, he didn't hold anything back. He went for it. And I think a lot of that's got to do with the crowd was behind him. The crowd was behind Fury. They wanted him to do well. The jab was fantastic. Schwarz was coming forward, and I thought that was good because, like I said in my prediction video, I said Schwarz cuts the ring off, and he'll try and cut distance. At the beginning, he starts quite slow, and when he fights, he swings in bundles. He doesn't swing one after the other. He swings in bundles. And I said this is catering for Fury because Fury's going to teach him a lesson. But he didn't just teach him a lesson; he beat him down. Because the commentary were trying to get Schwarz this iron chin. He's got an iron chin. One of his fights I've seen him get dropped, but in this one he got disheartened. He stood in the corner, put his gloves off, and just took punches in his face. And just, good stoppage. It's a good stoppage. So you can't complain. Fury did what he had to do. He got the W, and he moves on. Can you learn anything from this fight? Not really. Nothing that he didn't know before. We heard that he was taking. I heard a lot that he was knocking guys down in sparring. The guys he was sparring were saying, he was been amazing. So we knew he was fit, and he was training from, for a while now. He's been training. He's been keeping consistent in the gym. For me, I have started to have a slight change in heart with the Deontay Wilder fight, because my initial thoughts were after the rematch, and then when Fury went to ESPN and fight, I know he's gonna go fight two guys and whatnot. I did always have that feeling that for Wilder to put him down the way he put him down in the 12th. In the back of your mind as a fighter, if I know I can knock you down like that in the 12th round, 1-12, because I do believe Wilder rushed and was nervous, 100%, was rushed and was nervous because Fury didn't look, when people say he outboxed Wilder, he did, but, we've seen Gerald Washington outbox Wilder, we've seen Spilka outbox Wilder. Outboxing him isn't hard. I expected Fury to outbox him. To the extent he did, I thought was a bit funny because, I thought Wilder would have had more in his tank to just do the same 1-2 and hook. He could have gone for the body a bit more, variety it up. You need to, But I watched the fight with Brazil and I saw a lot of patience. I saw a lot of, he's learning to just take his time and seek. If the knockout comes, it's seek it. But he's trying to maybe come back to the fundamentals, like he said before the build up to that fight. I watched this fight and I thought to myself, Fury can hurt Wilder. And for me, that is the only thing stopping him from maybe not potentially winning the fight because, I watched the first fight and Wilder took a few lickings to his head, his eye was all swollen up and everything, but nothing too dangerous. But Fury's got to understand if he rematches Wilder, he might have to sink, he might get wet. He might get wet. He might get dropped a couple of times. He might, it's boxing. He can be as neat and clean as he wants, but if Wilder takes his time, he may land something. What I believe Fury is going to need to do in his A game is he's going to need to have his offense cut because we know Wilder can get hurt, and I think if Fury can power the pressure, then it could be a boxing class and also offensive and defensive. So I think that fight is much more. It's bigger now, of course. And it's more even than I thought as well now because it's getting interesting. He's gonna fight one more opponent, probably December. Bob Arum and Warren said so in December, which is good. I hope it's not Emmanuel. It could be Emmanuel Cha. Is that acceptable? Emmanuel Cha. I don't know why. Someone needs to take it. He's really milking that WBA regular. Interesting enough, Gerald Miller was at the fight, and we've watched. I know we watched a couple of interviews about Miller and him explaining his drug thing and everything, which I'm making a separate video on that. But he said he's been talking to Top Rank, and he's looking to fight at the end of the year. So, I do not think stylistically, I really doubt Gerald will fight Fury. I believe Fury beats him badly. Styles make fights. And you being a come forward plodder, we saw what happened to Derek Chisora, and I feel like that would happen to Miller. He'd just get his eyes swollen up. He'd probably last for 12 rounds, but just like So I think Miller knows that. He's not mobile, he's not powerful, and he's not going to keep Fury off. So I don't think he'll fight Fury, but there's been talks of him maybe signing a Top Rank. So you never know. He could be a potential. He could be a potential for Fury. I don't think he'd want it, but there we are. You might want a couple warm-up fights in the future. You never know. But yeah, who do you think Fury will fight next? Manuel Cha. Personally, I think the only thing that is acceptable after a performance like that is for me a Dillian Whyte. I want to see him fight Dillian. Stylistically, I like Dillian. I think it's a very, very tough fight for him. Very tough fight. People are forgetting that Schwarz is 6'5". Fury was beating him up like he was 6'1", and he was a kid. He was bashing him up, and this guy's a big guy. He's a big guy. White's 6'3". Joyce is only 6'6". These guys are big, and Fury's reach is really showing in his fights. So you know what? The White fight will be a war. White has to do. I'd love to see that fight. I'd love to see. I don't think that fight could happen in the US and generate the same amount of money. Probably could generate a lot because the trash talk and everything, but it'd be more naturally better in the UK. Because I stay up, I'm so tired. The US and the UK, sorry, naturally be better in the UK. But yeah. Let me know who you guys think Fury should fight. You've got names like Manuel Charles coming out, Pulev. Pulev is acceptable, but yeah, Bingham is acceptable, I suppose. You know, I'd like a Joseph Parker. You know, somebody in the just under the top would be great for me, and it'd be great for Fury. He needs a good test. You know, we can't have another Tom Schwarz or PN. It's time. You know, he's been training for a long time. He's inspiring, and Top Rank needs to push up the level. You know, so they might. You know, it could be any. They could get a few people. So yeah, great performance from Fury. Again, this performance surprised me of how clinical and how, you know, and how destructive he was. You know, because he was, you know, the combinations and everything, and just the way he got rid of Schwartz was impressive. So yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts on the video, and yeah, I'm out.